With your help, I have been able to build the ultimate weapon. And now it's time to put it to the test, to destroy the very thing that has gotten in my way of conquering the universe, the Earth. Ooh.
Welcome to Remember 64, where this week we head to the 24th and a half century. Welcome to the show, everyone. My name is David Petrangelo, and this week we are playing and chatting about Duck Dodgers starring Daffy Duck. Yes, the Looney Tunes game inspired by the character that debuted all the way back in the early 1950s. Momentarily, you'll hear me chatting to Danny from Retro Wars. He is back, and I have to say, this is just one of those games that we had to talk about at length. It's an awesome chat with Danny once again, and we'll be getting to it in just a few moments. Today's show is brought to you by EPOS Gaming Audio, with a comprehensive lineup of both wired and wireless headsets, gaming amplifiers, microphones, and webcams. EPOS has everything you need to experience the power of audio. Like their H6 Pro lineup, which features two versions, an open or closed headset. The closed headset allows you to tap into exceptionally detailed audio and seals out ambient noise, while the open version delivers natural, high-fidelity audio with an incredible soundstage. Both headsets include a magnetic, detachable microphone and a sleek design that has no wild RGB configurations, just good design. Listeners can save 15% by visiting www.eposaudio.com/gaming and entering the code EPOSFRIEND15 at checkout. That is EPOS Audio, EPOSAUDIO.com/gaming, and entering the code EPOSFRIEND15, no spaces, no underscores, no points. All of that can be entered at checkout for a 15% discount. Some housekeeping right off the top. As usual, you can support this show in any way possible by just as little as $1 a month at patreon.com/remember64show. There you will be able to get every single episode early, video and audio versions, and you can also get yourself a holographic Remember 64 logo sticker to you in the mail. You can check out what that looks like on our social feeds and on Patreon itself. Also, just a heads up that if you are a Spotify user, all of your early episodes, all of the audio versions of the episodes will be available on Spotify itself ahead of time, so you don't have to have a separate feed for it. It'll pop right up on Spotify if you are a Patreon supporter. Also, make sure to check out our stuff on YouTube at Remember-64. That's where you can see the video versions and chats of these episodes, as well as some gameplay that we have from the games as well, and some shorts that I've been posting up there that also go up on our social feeds, such as TikTok and Instagram, but YouTube is another place to find us. Also going to be doing some streaming and some gameplay videos with Jiggy Lookback as well. We're sort of expanding what we're going to be doing together, so just keep an eye on that at YouTube as well. And of course, always would love to have your support on podcast apps with a rating. Let us know what you think, and give us a 5-star rating if you think we deserve that 5 stars. Much appreciated. Also, if you are on Spotify, another note about Spotify, they have some polls and some questions on episodes as well. If you scroll down on your feed of the episode itself, you'll see little questions that I'm going to throw up there every once in a while, ask you what you thought of the game, what you think of the episode, maybe a poll to sort of ask you where things sit. For example, on the GoldenEye 007 episode, I asked where you think GoldenEye sits in the 90s catalog of games. Is it right up there in the top 3? Is it somewhere in the middle, 10 to 20, something like that? So you can have your chance to have your say, and we'll talk about that as the show continues. And of course, Remember 64 is very happy to be a part of the Tokyo Beat Podcast Network. All right, let's bust out the history books, everyone.
I'm learning.
We're heading back to August of 2000. As you heard me mention off the top, Duck Dodgers is a space alter ego or futuristic version of Daffy Duck. The film itself, the short film, was released in 1953, and the then character continued to make brief appearances throughout Looney Tunes cartoons over the following decades. This game, however, came out nearly 50 years later and was developed by Paradigm Entertainment and published by a company that has popped up and will likely continue to pop up on numerous episodes of Remember 64, Infogrames. Paradigm Entertainment began back in the 1990s as Paradigm Simulation, creating graphics for commercial use, working with the U.S. Department of Defense, NASA, and even Disney, just to name a few. Those are some massive clients, but something tells me that last one may have led to a game like this. Now, it was late 1993 or in the first few months of 1994 when Paradigm was contacted by Nintendo, as they actually had some contacts through the Silicon graphics chip that was in early development for the upcoming Nintendo 64 console. Once they were signed on with the Big N, they helped create the chip itself over the course of 9 months, and that also led them down the path to develop one of the first N64 games, Pilot Wings. Now jump ahead a few years and the team is tasked with making a licensed game based on a wacky cartoon character from 1953. Little is known about the exact development schedule and how it went, but when the game finally did release in 2000, the company that made it was on a downturn of success, and Duck Dodgers did not help. It didn't sell all that well, and the game received middle-of-the-line reviews, which likely were not enough to push the needle this late in the console's life cycle as well. For example, one review from the LA Times in 2000 ends with this line, quote, "The whole thing just stinks of someone trying to make a quick buck."
Duck Dodgers in the 24th and a half century! Are you ready, Space Cadet?
Absolutely, Commander, sir.
Whoop! Had the silly thing in reverse.
Today we are talking about Duck Dodgers starring Daffy Duck for the N64. And you're probably thinking, why the hell have you picked Duck Dodgers? Well, the reason was this, is that Dave was like, oh, what game should we do next? And he said, do you know what? I'll get like a Wheel of Fortune, basically. And whatever it spins on, we pick, we do. And I was like, all right, fine, whatever. And Duck Dodgers was what it fell on.
Yeah, so I have a list on in my Google Drive where I have all the games from 1 to, I think it's 390 something, somewhere around there. And I just said, I'm going to put in a number generator from 1 to that number. Whatever it lands on, I'm going to go and do that. And that's the game that we're going to play. And it landed on this, and I'm like, all right, we haven't done it yet. Let's give it a go. I like me some Looney Tunes, so let's go for it. And that's pretty much how we picked it. And whether for better or for worse, here we are.
We got it. And it didn't take me that long to finish, luckily. I was like, okay, that's glad. So, yeah. Duck Dodgers, for those who don't know, is basically Daffy Duck. I don't think I would say it's his alter ego. I think it's because that would make it imply that's his normal day-to-day thing. I think it's just basically like a spin-off series where he is acting as Duck Dodgers. And this was a 1953 cartoon.
It's crazy, right? I mean, that's the other thing about Looney Tunes in general. I grew up watching it. I'm assuming you did, at least in some way. And I loved it. I loved Looney Tunes. I watched it so much. My parents just said, you know what, you're going to put it on. This is going to be your before school cartoon kind of thing. And, you know, they do like 5 skits in half an hour, that kind of thing. And
yeah,
I remember this character, but at the time, I never would have thought that these were from like the 50s and 60s. Like, I didn't know that. I didn't know I was watching a cartoon that my parents watched when they were younger than me, even at that time. So it goes back quite a ways. And then in the late 90s, early 2000s, we get an N64 version of that.
It's just mental. Like this cartoon was out before my dad was even born. I
Me
think
too.
I
Both
think
my parents.
My mum was born this year, so my mum had a toy boy, but. It's mental, because basically what Duck Dodgers is, if you don't know what it is, it's basically Daffy in space.
Yeah.
And he's like a space ranger sort of thing. And yeah, Looney Tunes, I think by the 2000s was always like, oh, is it still relevant? Is it still not? I know we had Space Jam, which was obviously, I love Space Jam. Not the
Love
best
it,
film,
love
but I
it.
freaking love Space Jam.
Love it.
And they decide to cash in, and obviously with the N64 being brand new, it's let's throw our IP at it, let's see how it does. And basically this is like a 3D, well, I say it's a 3D platformer like Mario, but it really changes as you get into it. It's like, okay, now we're trying everything. It's like, right, what other genres can we put in? Shoot 'em up? Yeah, fuck it, put it in. Crash Bandicoot? Fuck it, put it in. Just do whatever.
It's so Crash Bandicoot, man. So many of even the platforming elements of it, because you go through hallways and you're jumping over spikes, or it feels, because they put you in those tighter spaces and you're either going, I mean, really, you can move the camera, but you're either going straight or back, just like you are in those old Crash games. And it's just, that's a good point. I was trying to pinpoint what that felt like, and that is what those feel like. Absolutely.
Yeah, because the game starts off as like it's a Super Mario 64-esque, like you've got 5 worlds and you basically walk around trying to get atoms, and we'll get into the plot in a minute, but there are certain points when you definitely you get squeezed in, and it feels very Crash-esque, and it could either be the typical Crash Bandicoot where you're just walking forward, or it can be the side-on view where Crash is going from left to right. It definitely does have those moments, but before we kind of go saying you're after atoms, what is the plot? The plot is hilarious in the sense of Marvin the Martian, good old, basically the guy with the Roman, no face with the Roman.
Great character. I just, this is the kind of character why I love Looney Tunes. He talks funny. He looks funny. The fact that he's like this sort of, egotistical alien that always wants to take over the universe or the world or the galaxy, and he's just this little guy. I just love it. I love Marvin the Martian. He's one of my favorites.
He is great. He's like, I've covered you all here.
Yeah,
we're going to blow up Earth.
And that's the other thing, is that there's voice acting in this, which is great.
Yes, they got all the voice actors. They got all the, I don't know if they've clipped it from episodes. I don't know. But it does have, because it could be, I don't know, but if it isn't, fair enough, because they got everyone in. They got Porky Pig, they got Daffy, they got Marvin the Martian, they got them all in.
Yeah.
So well done if that was the case.
Yeah. So the presentation of this, I think is what I enjoy the most, because I'm a sucker for Looney Tunes. So for me, it was like I never played this game until we landed on it on our wheel spin of death, so to speak. But the fact that they had the presentation, the fact that like just the way the game starts, like, you talk about the story, and just the way the game starts is like, Duck Dodgers is called into like this office, and he gets called onto like the 17,000th floor in this building, and I love those little Looney Tunes touches that just like they never call attention to it. It's just written on the wall in the background, and I'm just like, I love that stuff. And then they start talking. I'm like, oh man, they went for it. So I was very excited in these opening moments when they were sort of trying to set up this goofy story. The plot. Yeah.
And so Marvin wants to destroy the Earth, and then he's like, I've got you all together, I've built the ultimate weapon, and then he goes to use it, and then it's run out of fuel. And I was sitting there going, You made this. Surely, when you were making it, you're realizing, hang on, there's a component here we need. Don't act as if we push the button and it suddenly goes, oh, you knew this was an issue. That's like when you get a car for the first time. You don't like turn it on without fuel and go, oh, who the fuck forgot it? Oh, you should know this. Come on, dickhead.
Oh, it's just quirky Marvin the Martian. I'm all for it. I'm a sucker for that stuff. I can't fault him for that.
No, and he needs 100 atoms. And again, I'm looking at him going, mate, there's millions of atoms everywhere. And no, it's 100 giant atoms. Very specific.
Very specific items. A certain color, certain size, very specific.
Yeah. So Duck Dodgers goes out and he basically, he's set on a mission. Yeah, you are right. It does try and keep in the vein of the cartoon. And what I liked, it sounds silly, you basically go from planet to planet, but then you start off, you have to get off your ship. And when you get off your ship, as you're walking off, there's 2 pictures of himself by the door, and I was like, "That's just great," because of course there would be. Of course, there's like 2 painted pictures. It's like, that's awesome.
Yeah, just full on glamour shots of Duck Dodgers right there as you walk out. Yeah,
It's great, and so the game starts, and you go to the first world, and yeah, it does. It's not that bad, really. The graphics aren't so bad. Like, it's not Bubsy level. We'll make this very clear. Like, when you actually get on the planet, you know what this is. Everything's recognizable. You can go, okay, we know where we've got to go. It's a 3D-esque world. Is it the same level as Mario? No, probably because they haven't had the funding. But it's still decent enough. I was like, okay. And the whole point is that you have to run around and explore as much as you can. And in each stage, when you walk in, it tells you, like, there are so many atoms here, which is handy. And then basically you need to find as many atoms as you can to open the door to the boss, or you can try and get every single one. That's basically it.
yeah, and those are sort of like, if you're thinking about the other 3D platformers on the 64, it's like, getting the puzzle pieces in Banjo-Kazooie or something. Like,
yeah,
those are more essential in that game, I think, because you get it, and then like you really need a lot of them to open up different worlds and stages and all those. In this, yeah, when you enter, you get on this planet, and then you enter an area of that planet. Like in the first one, for example, you walk into the mines, and it says, "Oh, there's 2 atoms in this area." I was like, okay, well, I know what I'm looking for. I know how many there are, and at least I can set my expectations, and I'm not running around in circles, because it's definitely not as big as those other games, like you said, like Mario, Donkey Kong, Banjo-Kazooie, those classic 3D collectathon type games, but at least they give you a little bit of something there. And I think honestly, if this was as big as those other games, like the worlds themselves are as big, I think it wouldn't work, because you're literally bumping into walls too many times, and doesn't control as well. We'll get into it and everything, but like I don't mind that some of these planets and some of these worlds don't feel massive. I'm okay with the fact that it's this, because they're, like you said, they're throwing the kitchen sink at you in this, and to be able to find like a couple atoms here, a couple atoms there. Okay, moving to the next planet. Okay, the story's moving along. I was like, okay, they're keeping the flow going at least. At least there's that. So I gave them that. But that's one of the positives, I guess, or one of the few positives.
Yeah, that's the thing. It basically ticks you along quite well, and it's not trying to be. Well, it is trying to do quite a lot. It's trying to do as much as it can, really. But I think it knows it's not trying to set the world on fire. It knows what it is. Like, and yeah, it doesn't handle that well. And that's one of the problems. Like, so where you've got like Banjo-Kazooie and Mario, where they handle like freaking masters, for some reason, Daffy doesn't handle. He's got a double jump, which doesn't. Oh, it's just awkward. Like, you need to make sure you line up your jumps properly, otherwise you ain't having fun.
Yeah, because that jump is it's awkward, because when you press it, he sort of just like stalls in the air almost. Like he looks like he's jumping again, but he almost sort of just stays at the same height. And a lot of platformers, I mean, sure, there's obviously iterations since this game, but there's also other platformers on the 64 that were made before released before 2000 that had double jumps that made more sense. You know what I mean? So it's sort of like, oh, here's a double jump, but really all he does is like gyrate in midair, and that's kind of it.
Imagine that, Bam Gigolo. He's like, oh yeah.
Like that's what it is. Like he's I want to make this jump, and basically the only thing that gets me there more than the double jump is that I have momentum and I'm jumping at the right time. So I was like, well, what's the point of the double jump unless it's like one of a couple of larger gaps that maybe I need it for? But for the most part, I don't know. There's some mechanics that they bring in that are different, that are not typical. Like I think it might even be still the same, the first world. Maybe it's a second, where it throws in like the Looney Tunes goofy stuff, where like you grab onto like a rocket and it launches you like across a huge like chasm and stuff. And it's a super fun and cool and cartoony idea, but like unless you have your camera pointed exactly where you think you want to go, or at least where you're trying to go, you just like shoot into a wall, you shoot up and like behind you, and you're just like, oh shit, what the, and it just
that fucking rocket.
Yeah, like
that rocket. I understand why the Coyote had so many problems with Acme, because literally that rocket is a piece of shit.
Maybe that's what they were trying to do. They were trying to tell you that Acme sucks.
Yeah, Acme sucks. If you want to know what it's like to be a Coyote, this is the game. Because you have to line it up so well. You think, oh yeah, it'll be nice, I can do, in nice ways. But no, it's fucking shit. And later on, right, so yeah, that's bollocks. And then later on, like near the end of the game, you can kind of like do little mini games to get other atoms. And you can get this backpack. And it's like, oh yeah, put this backpack on and go through some rings. And I was like, no, we saw this shit with Superman 64. And it's like, no. So they make you go on a backpack and go through rings. And then the backpack runs out after like 10 seconds. Like, the fuck? Now I've got to get another one. Who thought that was fun?
I don't understand.
Who thought the Acme thing was fun?
Yeah, like, just let us use these mechanics or these, like, fun, goofy, ideas that are straight from the cartoons. Like, why can't we just use it without fault? Why does it have to be, like, this extra difficult or extra frustrating game mechanic? Just let us just play with it. Why not? It's Looney Tunes. Why are you taking this seriously?
Like, and it makes it so hard because you have to have everything lined up because the camera is terrible. Like, you can use the C buttons, but it's just not good. It's like,
I know. And it's we're going to run into this in a bunch of 64 games, but the other thing that frustrated me about this, and the camera is included in this as well, it's why it reminded me, is that the camera, the control of, sort of lining things up like we're talking about is like, I think you just said like a few minutes ago, like, they didn't have budget. They probably didn't have the same type of team that obviously a Nintendo funded and developed and published game would, but this is out in the late 1999, early 2000, depending on where you lived. And I'm sorry, but like 3.5 years later, like you should be able to pull off a little bit more in a little bit of a cleaner way, Like I know it's not easy making games. I get it, but there's far better platforming games that are just try and do similar things that pull it off in a much cleaner way, and they're out, in 98 or out around this time. Like, this is towards the end of the life cycle of this console, and I thought because of that, just by the release date alone, I'd be like, okay, this is going to do something at least a little bit different, or it's going to control smoothly, and it does not. And that is so frustrating.
No, it does not at all. And yeah, that's what's quite frustrating. It's like you wish it was just handling a little bit better, but sadly it doesn't. And
I know. And you know what? And part of the reason why I actually was looking up to see like what reviews were and stuff at the time, just to see like, are we crazy? Is this game better than we think it is? Are we the crazy ones here? Like, what's going on here? Now it's not a horrendous game. I don't think it's like a complete waste of time.
No, it's not horrendous.
Yeah, but because of the way it controls is what makes it an issue. So I looked up to see what some average reviews were, and over the years it is averaging in the mid 60s out of 100. That's sort of like 6.4, 6.6. Like, those are the sort of where things have leveled out over the years as people write reviews or it accumulates on Metacritic and stuff. But I found a particular review on IGN that says kind of what we're just talking about. It says the level of difficulty is only there at all because of the game's poor control. It's actually a deadly combination of the game's control and loose camera system. So
yeah,
we're not crazy.
No, we're not crazy.
And this was written in 2000. This was written in 2000. So this is not a recent review. So it is just, what it is, I guess.
They were ahead of the times.
Yeah.
they knew what was going on. They were like, yeah, we get it. Yeah. There's a shit camera. And that's the thing, because there is a decent game in there. And yeah, although I wish, the thing is, yeah, if it sorted out the camera, it would have been great because it knows what it is and it tries to be funny. And it's not the most challenging game. Like there, you can complete this in a few hours if you wanted to. Which again, I think for me, I'd be a bit annoyed if I suddenly bought this and you could probably finish it in 2-3 hours. And I'm like, wow, if you weren't going for 100%.
Yeah, exactly. If you don't try and do the completionist run and I think if you get, let's say, half to 70% of the atoms, you could do this in 3-4 hours. I think in total, my whole thing was, and honestly, it's probably because I was dying and restarting stages and stuff like that. It probably took me just over 4.5 maybe to do the whole thing. But I was trying to get as many as I could. I don't know. I can't remember exactly what I got, but if you don't do that and you just kind of go through the motions, go through the stages, this will just take you a few hours.
Like, I was pretty much the same, around 4 hours to get it done. Can you imagine if you bought that, though? You bought the game and 4 hours later you finished, you'd be like, what the fuck?
Hey, man.
Fuck, that's 40 quid.
It's the way it used to be, though. It's the way it used to be. It's not just 64 games. Like, think about before that. I mean, I know that's just the way games were at the time, and that's just the technology and everything, but, like, it's true, though. You do pick up a game like this thinking maybe thinking you're going to get one of those other classic 64 3D platformers, and that's a bit of a kick in the pants, I think. That's
Mommy, get me a game. Oh, I'll get you a good one. Hey, he's got Mario 64. Oh.
So here's the other thing. In this same review, they mentioned that like this game has like this cartoonish charm of like 2D platformers, right? So like, there's other Looney Tunes games or Tiny Toons and stuff. They're on Game Boy and they're on the SNES and, all that kind of stuff. And I recently, was playing Mischief Makers, which is the first 2D platformer for the 64. So this is 4 years before this one. And it doesn't control amazingly well, but because it's 2D, it still kind of works. I think if this game was in 2D, I think they could do more fun, interesting stuff with 2D because it's Looney Tunes, let's be silly. And, it's cool to see Looney Tunes in like a 3D plane, but I would have been fine with playing Duck Dodgers on a 2D plane. Honestly, I don't know about you.
Yeah, when it goes to like the bits where it's like either Crash Bandicoot-esque, I was like, I could play it like this. I could definitely play it in, it's more tightened because then you could focus more on your graphics, your gameplay. Yeah. But then it decides that later on, you're playing it, and it goes, remember the top-down bit from Zelda where you're running around from guards? Put that shit in. It's
right.
What? What? Why? Why did someone think that was a good idea? Yeah. They put that in, and you think, that's one thing. Okay, that's we're messing around. That's 3 different genres. What about a 4th? Oh, what are you thinking, Jeff? What are you thinking? Well, what's the biggest game on the N64? I don't know, just some GoldenEye. Oh yeah! It's like, what do you mean? He's like, we're gonna make this a first-person shooter. What? No, put it fucking in, Jeff. Put it fucking in, and it becomes a first-person shooter.
It's so like, weird. It's so weird.
What? It's so stupid.
And even when you have, I don't know, the ray gun or whatever it's called, and you're running around like the museum area, or the city or whatever, and it's like a third-person shooter sort of idea. Because like I'm fine with running around and just sort of randomly shooting, and okay, maybe I'll hit a guy, whatever. Okay, fine. I don't have to be like super precise as long as I, stun the guard and walk by and get to the next area of that level. Fine, but it's just. They put you in a tight space. I understand you're inside, but because the camera is already not great and because the controls are so wonky, you go inside this tight space and I'm firing random bolts everywhere to try and get past and whatever, and I'm still not succeeding. And I'm like, how much of a spray up with this weapon or these these items am I supposed to do to get past this spot? These guys are swarming me and I have nowhere to go.
See, this is why he needs like, in modern day games now you can press like R3 and he does like a punch with it. Like, basically imagine Daffy going around using the barrel and go on someone. That'd be class.
That would help because it would be sort of like a backup move, right? Like it's sort of like a last resort. And that's the other thing too, is his sort of like, I guess, melee without a weapon in your hand is this kick. And
how strong's the kick meant to be?
I don't know because I barely hit anybody with it because it's so hard. It's so hard to know where you are relative to anybody else.
So pointless. I just run around like, fuck it, I'm not attacking anyone. I'm just dodging. It's so shit.
my main attack, which, is fine. I don't mind this. Maybe he didn't have a kick and that would be the mechanic. I don't know. But would be to jump over someone and do the sort of ground slam, which, is common in a million games at this point. That was more effective because I could see the shadow of where I was when I jumped. So I knew I was above the character. And that worked. And it stunned the enemy and then I could walk by. Was it easy? No, but it was definitely easier.
No. It's so bad because later on, so some of the bosses you fight, you've got to be able to see what you're doing. So in the palace, which is that's the first Crash Bandicoot area, but you basically he's not hard to beat. Like, you run around him and he's trying to hit you with his sword and he gets his sword stuck on the floor. But then when he's got his sword stuck on the floor, you're trying to hit him and you got to kick him. And again, it's the same problem with the boxer. And you've got to hit him with a boxing glove. You've got to have it lined up so well to actually get it to hit. I was like, fuck.
Yeah.
Who thought that was a good idea?
Well, you know what? It's fine to have that, but it's just, I don't know if collision detection needed to be done in a certain way where you could pull off, a couple pixels or a couple, frames here and there that would be able to pull off, just be a little bit more forgiving. I think that's the issue, is that, the game isn't forgiving enough for how it controls and how it feels. And your jumps have to be too precise sometimes. That kick is just the most, unfortunately, useless melee attack I've had in a very long time in any games. And all of it would work if it was just a tiny bit more forgiving, but I think it's the gameplay is taking itself too seriously, whereas everything around it is goofy Looney Tunes stuff. Why?
Yeah.
It just doesn't mesh that well. And okay, it doesn't have to be the easiest game in the world. It doesn't have to feel like a game that's meant for a 5-year-old, but just take it down 1 or 2 notches, and I think this would have been a lot better and a lot more fun because you wouldn't run into those frustrating battles that you're having with the mechanics, I think.
Yeah, and the thing is, though, it could be so much better if it was just more forgiving. I think you are definitely right, because some of it, the charm is there. The charm is there for this game, and it's just fix the little problems, and you've got yourself a decent little platformer. It's not going to set the world on light. You are going to finish it quite quickly, but it could be kids' first platformer. And I think it could be a good time. Although, do you know what? I thought was quite funny in this, and it made me laugh. You when you get the rocket, you meet Lola. And Lola Bunny. I was like,
that's right.
All the characters to appear. It was fucking Lola Bunny. I was like, not that I'm complaining because Space Jam. Everyone loves Lola Bunny. Not now though, because they basically went all well, she can't look sexy. We don't like a sexy Lola Bunny. All right, okay, fine. We'll just make it boring. But in this game, she calls him Daffy. I was like, no.
Oh, I missed
that. He's not Daffy.
Really?
He's Duck Dodgers. She calls him Daffy. I was like, you Duck Dodgers.
That's so funny.
Okay, it's mine.
I completely. That's so funny that they that got passed. That I wonder.
Yeah.
I don't know. You know what? I wonder if that's an inside joke type thing, or if it was a mistake, because I could see it being sort of this recurring thing in the show, maybe, that someone might say Daffy sometimes or something. But just sort of because Looney Tunes has a lot of these inside jokes kind of thing, or repeated jokes, callbacks, stuff like that. Because it's just, there's so many cartoons that was around for so long. But I don't know what's better, if it would be an inside joke or if it was a mistake. I'm not sure what makes me happier.
Yeah, what makes you happier? And I can just imagine now with Lola Bunny, people is it Rule 64 or Rule 32? What it's called?
Oh, let's see, Rule 64. Whoops.
Yeah. The thing is though, if you've not heard of what that is, you get it. Your eyes. Is it? Hang on. Okay.
We're both doing research.
No. But if you know what it is,
I don't.
Hang on. No, I put Rook. That's not right. Stop giving me. So, is it? oh no, is it Rule 32? Oh, someone's going to basically say what it is.
Yeah, Rule 32 says... oh no, this is law. It's looking up. This is deposition of court proceedings.
It's not it.
No.
So basically, I can't remember what it is. It's basically no matter what you basically what median is out there, someone will have drawn a rude image of it. Basically, could be Rule 62. Could be Rule 62. And Lola Bunny definitely falls under that. Let's put it like that.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
Oh, Lola Bunny. Right, the bosses. So, we've already mentioned two of them. You fight the Sultan, you fight a boxer, you fight one of a gangster, and here's one, you've got to catch a bomb and basically throw the bomb back at him. And I'm thinking to yourself, well, just hold the bomb a little bit more, gangster, then throw it at Daffy. This is a situation you should be winning. You shouldn't be losing this one, but you do. You then fight a big Aztec head, which makes no sense, but
I don't
you
get
do.
that either. Yeah.
There's no reference to it at the start of the game, but it is. And you just run around till the Aztec head gets pissed off, slams on the ground really hard itself, hurts itself, and then you just go to the platform that it slammed into, rinse and repeat. So it's not that hard. And then the final boss is Marvin and his dog. And basically you've got to shoot Marvin when his barrier is down while dodging his dog. I was like, this is harsh. The dog does nothing wrong and I'm jumping on it. This is really mean.
Yeah, like come on. Like what's the dog's name? I can't remember what his name is. He's the green dog there. Canine.
Yeah, the green
his name's
dog.
Canine. Oh my god, that's what his name is? That's amazing. I love that stuff. It's all these, like, I mean, I say it's a reference, but it's not a reference because it's a Looney Tunes game, so it has everything in there it's supposed to. But the dog pops up. I was like, oh, I love this. Yes, it's harsh. I don't disagree with you, but I don't know. I hear Marvin talk, and every once in a while, Daffy or Duck Dodgers, whatever you want to call him, has his little quips when he picks stuff up sometimes. Like, those are the things, and like the music is kind of fun. And it kept me going even through these like boss battles that are not great, and they are pretty much rinse repeat every single one of them. But I was like, I have a hard time not liking the Looney Tunes presentation.
You just mentioned the fucking cardinal sin of this game and put it as a positive, so absolutely fuck you. The sound in this game is fucking atrocious.
Oh, I don't know. It's okay.
No. Don't even start. The whole time you're hearing this flap, 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 flap.
That's
as
true.
He's walking around.
Yeah, that's true.
Right?
Yeah.
I understand, like, everyone's got to have Link has his, like, clinking armor if he's in armor, but that flapping as his feet are flapping, I was like, no. Do you know what? When I lived back in England, when I lived back home in the local park, there are loads of ducks. There are ducks here in Australia. Do those ducks walk around going... No, they don't. No, they don't. There's bullshit.
Oh my god! I'm gonna go for. I'm gonna go for a walk. We have like a sort of walking trail near us, and there's like a pond there. I'm gonna go and I'm gonna record the sounds of the ducks and see if they make those noises.
Yeah, you go there, and I'll tell you what, those ducks probably don't speak as much as Daffy does. Every few fucking steps, he's like, "Oh, how do I do it?" I was like, "Fuck off, Daffy." Just shut.
Yeah, the frequency of his little comments and the lack of variety of them is definitely not great. I cannot argue with. Absolutely. I think it's just those small things like that, at least for me, those felt small, but I can understand why they don't work. I also agree that they don't work.
It's like, Jesus, I got annoyed at South Park because I kept hearing the same shite. And this is exactly the same. But at South Park, I needed to have the sound on so I can hear a turkey going...
Oh my god.
But I could actually put the music down and go, no, not doing this. And it's got a music for when he sneaks. Why have you put music just for when he sneaks? Just why?
I honestly, I think it's because they do it. That's the music that plays. That's the cue that plays in the cartoon. I think that's why they do it. I don't think there's any other reason other than, hey, remember that this is a Looney Tunes game. I think that's all they're doing. I don't know.
Oh, they can have the sneak music, but the music is just so boring, and it loops like within seconds. It's like,
True.
Fuck, this is just gonna kill me. And then Daffy going round the whole time and suffering fucking death. I was like, oh my god. Someone get
love the
Jamie
Daffy
Oliver
voice.
the duck. Yeah, but I don't mind the Daffy voice. The Daffy voice is very funny, but the fuck is going on every few seconds in this game is very fucking annoying. And it's like, oh, spat everywhere, but it's like, just tone it down a little bit. Like, did no one in testing going, actually, no, this is doing my tits in, better just tone it down?
I think,
oh my god.
Yeah, you know what? And like, you're kind of convincing me to go the other way. You're onto something with that for sure. Like, I don't think you're wrong at all. I say that I had like this sort of feeling and this charm when some of the stuff happens, but once you start playing like the same stage that the first few, especially like when I was sort of getting used to it, I think I played the first stage like 3 times before I forgot to save. I forgot to save the first time, and I was stupid, so I had to play the second one the first one a couple times. I wasn't paying attention to the music or the sound effects all that much. They kind of just fade into the back of your head while you're playing. So yeah, that doesn't really bode well for it being like great sound design and great music. So it's just, I don't know. I put a smirk on my face when I see Marvin and I see Daffy Duck together and K9. Like, it's just, does it translate to a great game? No, it does not. But like I said earlier, I'm a sucker. So every once in a while, I got a little nostalgic thing.
Do you know how you make it better though? You turn the sound off, and then because I'm downstairs, I can have the music quite high in the morning, and then you put like one of those motivation things on, and it's like, you will do this, you will grind. It makes the game so much more epic. It's great. So Daffy's just jumping along.
Yeah. He's like, I got this. Like,
he's like, I will die. I was like, yeah, Daffy, fucking go.
Fuck yeah, Daffy. Or you could just put the actual episodes on and watch those. I think that actually, there's Looney Tunes stuff available all over the place. Put the original movie and episodes with Duck Dodgers in them and play this game, and then you'll probably have a better experience, even though...
Yeah, you probably will.
Yeah, even though playing it is not great, at least you'll be able to watch something and hear something that is definitely better than what this game has to offer, for sure.
Oh, no. But, like, there is a coup de grace. There is a coup de grace at this point.
Okay.
And it is, if you're waiting for that moment, you go, I know what I spent my money on, is that they put Pong in this game. Oh my God. Pong is a game. And if you win at Pong, you unlock 2-player Pong. It's like, fuck! And he actually says, reset the 64. Oh my God! Jesus. Don't go out the options. Reset the console. I was like, yes.
They're trying so hard to pull like a Metal Gear Solid thing with the like other controller switching against, I don't know the name of the characters in Metal Gear. I lose track. But that whole, I think it's Metal Gear 1 or 2 where you had to like switch the controllers. Like they're trying to do like this whole
Psycho Mantis.
Yeah, it's like you're trying to do this whole like, clever thing. It's like, it's not that clever, and it's just Pong. Shut up.
But they make it like, the way it unlocks, you unlock 2-player. I was like, oh my God. Imagine that. Mom, Dad, want to play? Fuck off.
Hell no. You still play video games?
Yeah,
that's what I would get anyway.
I would. Oh yeah, I get that all the time. Like my dad looks at me. My dad looks at me with so much disappointment when it comes to a lot of gaming things. But the moment I give him a song, Dad, do you want to sing The Great Mighty Pooh? He goes, okay. I'm like,
nice.
What the fuck, Dad? I don't understand. Go back ever onto the Conker's Bad Fur Day episode, and he did that with no protest.
I 100% have to listen to that now. Oh my God, that's amazing.
Go to the end of the Great Mighty Pooh episode, and he sang that with no protest whatsoever. And he still sings it to this day. And he looks at me and my brothers and goes, "You all still play video games, you stupid." But then, Dad, you were singing about your chocolate starfish. What the fuck? Just make your mind up, Dad. It's like you got to give us both ways on this.
Yeah, pick a lane, Dad. Come on.
I'm not going to tell him that because he's massive. My dad will beat the shit out of me. Like, I love you, Daddy, but he's a big unit, my dad. He's like, I'm tall than him, but he'd still outstrength me with his little finger. And he's like, oh, I don't know, my granddad was strong. He's strong. I'm like a fucking wimp. I'm like a paper compared to him. I need to get in the gym. I really do.
Just stick with the video games. It's all good, man. I think that's fine.
Yeah, he can't get me. He lives in England. I live here. He's not getting me.
Boom. There you go. Boom.
Said you,
that,
Dad.
Dad.
Although he does, yeah, he can kill me with other things. He can send my brothers to come get me. No, he doesn't. I love my dad before anyone goes, "Oh my God, daddy issues." No, don't. Calm down, everyone.
It's all in good fun.
Honestly,
it's all in good fun.
Oh, he knows it. It's all. Although he does hate being called Daddy Splinter. He hates being called Daddy Splinter. He's like, "Shut up! I'm not Daddy Splinter." Because I name all my brothers after turtles, and he's like, "I'm not Daddy Splinter. Shut up."
Nice. I like it. I keep going with it, man. Keep going with it. I like that. Anything to reference the turtles, I'm all for it.
I should ask him though, like, because he's born this time frame. Dad, did you watch the original Duck Dodgers? Because that would have been, 53 if he would have been 10. No, he would have been born. He would have been born, and it was still around. Like, he would have been 10 years old. That just baffles me. Just although
so
my mum
crazy
would have
to
been
think
there
about
the day
that
it
stuff,
came
right?
out.
Yeah, like, and that's the thing is like they try and I wish the game was a little bit smoother, a little bit better, so that I could say like, hey, I played this really great Looney Tunes game, even if it was 3D, even if it wasn't on the 2D thing it would be fun, it would be good, but
It would. If they say polished everything, just give the graphic. And the graphics aren't bad, but just smooth over the graphics.
Yeah.
They're okay. Smooth over the graphics, like, give them like that sort of rounded normal feature now.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, just figure out the camera, which you should be able to do with 2 control sticks. Sort out the sound. I know it sounds like we literally sort out the whole game, but it's not. It's literally just getting rid of the rough bits around the edges. You could easily have like a $15 game or whatever and put it on the shop. And that'd be great for kids. Like, don't be asking me to pay like $60 or whatever, like like Legend of Zelda, Mario. Don't ask me that. Put it at a lower price point, and you go, you know what? You can have fun with this. You could.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's something there. It's just it misses the mark, and that's just. It's just what it is. It's just what it is, man. I don't know.
Just what it is. So, if you had to score this out of 10, what are you giving it?
Oh man, this is not going to be a great one. I don't remember what I gave the last not so great when we talked about Mortal Kombat 4. I know that was rough around the edges too. That's a few months back when we did that recording at least. And I think I made this. This is not like, at least it's Mortal Kombat. At least there's some stuff there that you can grasp onto. But with this, I'm not going to go back to either of those games, but this is like, if a half score is okay to put, I would do like a 4.5 or something. Sadly, I'm going
to give it a 5.
Okay, all right. Hey, wow! I thought I was going to give it higher than you did, but I think honestly, it's only hanging on to an extra couple points because it's Looney Tunes. Like, that's sadly, there's some stuff there that I like, but none of it feels good to play. And if this is about a game, the game itself is not great, in my opinion. So yeah, that's where I sit with it.
Yeah, I think that's probably a fair thing. It's not amazing. It's not great. As I said, if you'd bought this at the time, you would have been like, but just fix the bits around the edge.
Yeah,
and then you're taking like you could easily re-release this for the Switch. Easily, or PS whatever, or Xbox whatever, and you could easily make this like a 7 out of 10, kids first like platforming game, and they would have a decent time and hopefully not cost your wallet. That's again, there are things we can rant about in this game, but again, you can just make minor things to change it, and those rants are gone.
Absolutely. You know what? That's the thing is like all we're listing all these things that we're disappointed with in this game, but they're all small things that add up to a larger package. But if you fixed even 3/4 of these things that we're mentioning, it would jump, like our scores, for example, would jump up at least a few points, in my opinion, for me anyway. And it would, like you said, I think that's exactly what it needs. These little small things, put it out on Switch for 15 or 20 bucks. And it's going to be a great kids game, and you're going to get through it in a few hours. Perfect, great. Even if it went on the Switch Online, 64 pack, and they sort of maybe it smoothed out the edges a little bit. I don't know, because I don't do a ton of stuff. It's pretty much emulation. But let's say they did that, 100%, it would be worth picking up. But I think as is, it's easy to avoid, sadly.
Correct. Well, Dave, it has been an absolute pleasure having you back, and I know this will be on your show as well. So everyone, listen to both shows. Listen to Remember 64, remember to Retro Wars, because both shows are fantastic. But God knows what your Wheel of Fortune is going to pick for us next. That's
what we're gonna do. We're gonna spin it next, everybody. We are not choosing the game. We're gonna spin it, and that will be the next episode that we do together. So look forward to that, or don't. I don't know.
God knows. Well, Dave, you take care of yourself, and I'll speak to you again soon, mate.
As always, such a pleasure to chat to Danny and have him on Remember 64. I hope you enjoyed our chat and enjoyed us talking about this game. As we mentioned, just listen to us talk about it. You probably don't really have to play it, but Duck Dodgers, always cool to kind of look back and get a little taste of Looney Tunes back from my childhood, at least. Hopefully, next time, the next game I play with Danny will be a little bit better. We had a little bit of good luck with Mario Golf, if you want to listen to that episode on your podcast feed as well. But we've sort of spun the wheel of not so great games, Danny and myself. So I hope that will change next time, or in the near future. But check out Retro Wars. Danny and his crew are just going through a slew of games across a bunch of different consoles. I've also been on the show as well, and will continue to be, so you can hear me talk about other games that are not even N64 games on his show. But check out their stuff. It is really, really fun. Great in-depth discussions. Always fun and funny and insightful. Retro Wars on your podcast feed. But that will do it for this episode of Remember 64. As always, like I mentioned off the top, you can support the show for as little as $1 a month. Patreon.com/Remember64show. You can get a free holographic sticker in the mail and get all your episodes early on the Patreon feed, or if you're a Spotify user, you'll also get the audio versions on your Spotify feed as well. You can find that link and all those links across social media, where you can find us at Remember64 Show, or in the show description as well, where you can find all of those links that you need. All right, everybody, thanks for joining me once again. We will see you next time on Remember 64.